So what made you take the step to start wrestling in 2021, right? So this is probably just after COVID. What was it that sort of pulled the trigger and made you think I want to do this?
To be honest, I played football before, and we had the COVID period, and everybody was home. I always been a wrestling fan, but I was watching more wrestling because I was home. I had nothing to do, so I was like, maybe I should try. I didn't know there was a school in Belgium, so when I saw that there was a school in Belgium, I asked them if I could train. And with the COVID and stuff, they were like, maybe next year. So then the year after that, 2021, COVID was over, and I started training, and that's where the journey started.
What's it like when you take your first steps into a wrestling school on the first day? I imagine it's a sport that has quite a big learning curve, and that first day might be quite daunting.
It was rough because, like, you learn how to hurt yourself, to be honest. My first day, I was like, bro, you're actually learning how to hurt yourself. And, as a big fan, I was like, oh, this shit hurts, but I love it. Uh, I remember my first training, I was very stiff. My neck hurts, my back hurt, but I loved it. So I always came back, and here I am.
And at this point, who are your sort of inspirations? I'm not too familiar with the sort of scene in Belgium, but are there any, you know, big stars come out of there in the past that you could sort of aspire to, or did you have to look elsewhere for inspiration?
Oh, inspiration in Belgium or
Yeah, in
overall?
Belgium, but also worldwide. Then, if there aren't many
I'll
stars in Belgium.
say when I started wrestling, I was a big fan of Mike D. Vicho, now Mike the Ritter in WWE. I was a big fan of what he was doing because he's a huge man doing all these flips. Bro, it's so inspiring for me. And if we say worldwide, I would say Randy Orton because I love the way he wrestled, to be honest. I love the facial expression. I love the look. I love everything about that wrestler. So, yeah.
And if someone's watching this now and they haven't seen your matches, what kind of style can they expect from you? If they went onto YouTube right now, looked up some of your matches, what sort of style do you bring to the ring?
To be honest, I try to mix my wrestling moves. Uh, I do a bit of everything, but like they will kind of see a very athletic man, I will say, for my height, uh, and someone that can lift people. So yeah, a mix of high flying powerhouse stuff. So yeah.
Take me back. Do you remember your first ever match and what were the sort of feelings like? Because going into training is probably scary enough, but having your first match must be terrifying.
It was so stressful. So I had my first match 2 weeks after, no, 2 months after my first training. So it was very early. I was very green, but I had to spring in because someone got injured. So I, to be honest, I was very nervous, because to be honest, I didn't tell my parents I would start wrestling. So when I got the call of like, hey, you have to sprint in because someone got injured, I was like, oh, damn. So I told my parents, hey, I'm going to wrestle. So be there. And they were very surprised because at first they didn't want me to stop football. They were like, keep going with football and all that things. But yeah, I choose my own way, to be honest. And I was so stressed, and I had like a 6 minute match. It was cool. So everything went well. God bless. Everything went well. But when I watched the match again, I was not even realizing I was in the ring. I was wrestling, to be honest. Yeah, it was a very cool experience.